for collective consciousness. That's exactly what it says. Oh, my goodness. So, don't force the issue. Just let it happen so that more people can wake up. Because we have more power.
You have a little bit skewed.
Okay, tell me. Hey, Fisher.
It's really, really simple. When you go back and you listen to what Tank finally figured out for himself last night and then gave to all the callers, quit dwelling on the hurt, the pain, the weight of the weight, all the negative energy that everybody kept feeding into this thing. When's it going to happen? When am I going to go to the bank? Why do they keep delaying this? Why do they keep delaying that? See, that was all part of the problem. It's not that people weren't being patient because they didn't know what they had to be patient with or for or about.
Mm-hmm.
See, again, the plan is a convoluted process, has been a very convoluted process up to this point. And the people that were involved in seeing the completion of the process so everybody finally gets to go to the bank were actually part of the problem themselves.
Right.
So that is what you're reading there. I don't want people to take that personally. It had nothing to do with the callers per se. It's a generality, and it's pretty poorly written, if you ask me, because people take that internally.
Mm-hmm.
They're not intended to. That's one of the reasons the St. Germain affirmation was given out, so people can raise their vibrational level at a rate that's comfortable for them so they don't overdo it, because believe me, if you overdo it, you're going to get some really amazing results that they're going to knock you right on your butt.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's time for everybody to join in the positive quantum field, that God consciousness at their own base.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, when and Sheldon said that there was a point that was previously agreed to where the planetary consciousness would reach a point where the impetus was for the consciousness to keep going up. You all agreed to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you don't remember it doesn't mean you didn't agree to it. Remember, you're the chosen ones. You're not here. You're not here by mistake.
Right.
So everybody agreed that there had to be a certain point on the planetary scale and on a, with the assistance of Gaia herself, so that everybody could achieve more of an impetus to help their friends and neighbors and relatives and, strangers and so on and so forth. Help get them to the point where they start to become believers in the process of co-creating a new reality.
So by the people rushing it, they're causing confusion and chaos in the energy field.
Well, as it relates to the RV and the GCR and, everything else.
I'm talking about the raising the consciousness of man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, but that was all part of the Kabbal's process anyway. It's all part of the previous training that everybody was put through. Don't make any effort to get better. Don't try to be smarter. Don't try to be stronger. Don't try to be, on a level with Jesus or God or Sananda or, any of the ascended masters, because it's a waste of time. You'll never get there. You're not smart enough. You're not bright enough. You're not quick enough, whatever, you're not pretty enough. I don't know, whatever reasons they used. But this is all part of the conditioning that they put us through. Well, see, now all that conditioning is gone. It's time to throw all that garbage out. Now the only garbage you put in the system is what you put in the system by your own lack of faith in you.
And that's why it says that it's moving in a direction that it wasn't agreed upon. So they're asking people to step back and go back into their original.
Quit fighting the process.
Yeah.
Quit fighting the process. You know, it's like, okay, Tank made a relatively simple analogy, I believe it was last night on the call, where he was basically discussing martial arts, where you're using, pushing against somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? See, that's what people have been doing. They've been pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to throw their weight behind something they didn't understand. Well, the thing that they were pushing their weight against simply got moved out of the way, and they toppled over on their, simplistic little heads without even understanding what was going on, and they just got more frustrated with the process because they didn't understand that the more they fought it, the more they were frustrated with it. The angrier they got, the more they started chasing things. Remember, how many times did I tell Ching, quit chasing the RV? You're going to run right over it.
Mm-hmm.
See? And everybody remembers that. And he finally got the point. And now if Tank could get it as hard as he has fought this thing and been a champion for it, everybody on the call, and there are only 400 or so of you on this call, should all be able to get the same point.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left to fight. It's done. It's over. It's finished.
Mm-hmm.
You're just waiting for your turn in the queue. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really no different than getting on a queue for this call. Press *6 to stand up. Well, they're giving you your chance here shortly. I'm not going to go into, all the things that are happening because everybody can figure it out. All they got to do is read Dinar Chronicles to see what's going on tomorrow, what's happened the last few days, where Iraq is and where the UN is and where Trump is and blah, blah, blah. And if you can't, if you don't understand it, it's nothing to be concerned about because it's all moving in a very positive direction, and it is, again, it's so close. If you push too hard, you're going to fall in it.
So let me read this part, and then give me your collective actions are forcing a new reality to form that will eventually turn out much differently from that which the old reality offered. It is the new reality that deeply concerns both heaven and us. The present sets of impasses are merely illusionary. Now, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, see, again, everybody got. It's kind of a simple process when you stop and think about it. People got to the point where they're so frustrated with this, they were so angry with it, they were so, tired of it that they just gave up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started thinking. They started thinking about what is it that I'm fighting? What is it I'm fighting against? What is it I'm fighting for? What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be? What am I going to be when I grow up? See, everybody started thinking in those terms instead of when am I going to be able to go to the bank? When am I going to be able to help humanity? When am I going to be able to, go buy a new Rolls Royce or whatever it is they want? You're going to be able to do all of that, but you have to get out of the mode of beating yourself up to get in line. And that's what people were doing. And it finally got to the point where people they gave up all of that because for some of them they thought, this is all a scam. It's never going to happen. They're just going to keep, rolling the dice, and they're going to come up with new problems and, new concerns and new security things that, we need to be concerned about. And, well, they finally got over that point, and they started thinking about, I need to be positive. I need to be positive about helping people like in Texas and in Florida and in Puerto Rico and, the other islands that have been decimated by the hurricanes and so on and so forth. People started thinking about how they could actually help other people, whether or not they actually had the funding to do it at that precise moment in time or not. They started turning into the humanitarians that they wanted to be and still want to be.
Right. So this part that says your collective actions are forcing a new reality to form that will eventually turn out much differently from that which the old reality offered. And it is this new reality that deeply concerns both heaven and us. What do they mean by that?
Well, they mean they're deeply concerned about the speed at which the process can move, because remember, we have to deal with an entire planetary population.
Mm-hmm.
So, right now the trick is numbers. It's a numbers game. How many people can you convince in your daily conversation with strangers and friends and family and so on and so forth that things are getting better? The planet is healing. People are no longer accepting the words of divisiveness that the politicians and the bureaucrats have been spreading, across the planet for aeons and aeons and aeons. The dark forces are all gone. The cabal's all gone. They got nothing left to fight with, and they're not even afraid of you anymore because they've given up. They've just totally given up. They've rolled over. They have nothing left to fear because the change has already happened for them. They see it. It's happened on a global scale, and it's even changing more rapidly than they had anticipated because of the natural events that everybody's been so concerned about, rightfully so. But it all helped push people into a different level of intent, heart intent, or consciousness, if you will.
And that's the point.
To be the humanitarian, whether or not you actually had the money to participate as a humanitarian, by assisting people with just writing out blank checks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the end point, as noted, is a steady pace of your collective consciousness. It is this that is to swiftly solve all that presently frustrates you.
Exactly. What frustrates people?
Mm-hmm. Not having money, not going to the bank.
No, it's not. It's not just having money. It's not just having money, because the money itself doesn't solve the problem.
That's exactly right. However, I'm looking at some of the chat room. Yeah.
Well, it's the consciousness that's going to solve the problems. But the consciousness has the funding available to utilize as a positive force for humanitarian good, or just good in general, whether you're helping yourself or you're helping your family or you're helping strangers across, the planet somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
See, the major concern has always been, and I've addressed this over and over and over, you people aren't, and I'm not blaming anybody, because this was all anticipated. But the problem was always that people were so interested in the day and the rate, or the date and the rate,
right,
that they couldn't get out of that when can I go to the bank moment until something else distracted them, besides the fact that this was delayed for so long, so that they had to think about the suffering of other people and the good that they could do when the day came. They quit thinking about the day that it was going to come and started thinking about the good they can do when the day came.
So that must be the majority. That must be the majority. A certain
it's
number.
Just a number.
Speaking like that.
It's just a number, but it's happening across the planet.
Enough to make a change.
Yeah.
A difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because they count. Everybody. God counts numbers. I want to see a certain number. I want to see a certain number. I want to see a certain number. The galactics want to see a certain number of this. The angels want to see a certain number of that. They're not all looking at the same thing, but God sees it all. He says, okay, the numbers are there. Right. The numbers are there. So he decided, Saint Germain decided, the Galactics decided, everybody's decided now, oh, hey, there's been a planetary shift in the thought processes and the heart intent. People got away from the playfulness, away from the ego, away from the greed, away from, the thought of being rich, blah, blah, blah. And they said, there are people on this planet that drastically need my help. And they started planning on how they could do it with the thought in the back of their minds, I don't really need full resources to start acting as if I give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
So once they started thinking that way, that idea, when can I go to the bank, or the thought of when can I go to the bank, or the question of when can I go to the bank, was supplanted by something from the heart, not from the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I hope everybody understands that. It's a pretty simple process. It's a lot more convoluted than that. So, I put it in simple terms. I hope everybody got it. But you people all made the change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were drugged, to the finish line, kicking and screaming, but you made it.
Mm-hmm.
Pat yourselves on the back. You made it. It's done. It's over. It's finished. It's, now you're just waiting your turn. That's all it is. That's all it is. There's nothing left to fight. There's nothing left to battle over. There's nothing left to question. Everything is falling into place, finally, because you did. It's not that they let it happen. It's not that,
conscious shift was made.
Yeah, a positive shift was made. It's that simple.
Okay. Marvelous events are indeed on the horizon. What we simply ask is for you to remain calm and continue to hold your collective vision.
Right.
Heaven is in the process. Go ahead.
No, put that into context with what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
You see, the callers, the population in general, the whole planet. I mean, I'm not saying the whole planet, because this is not 100% of the entire population.
Right.
But there were enough positive numbers that were in the moment of being humanitarian in thought over the suffering of others, that it's like there was a clock that chimed in the universe, and God said, that's the moment I've been waiting for. Let this thing go. Now, a lot of people had to be replaced. A lot of people had to be taken out. A lot of people had to, a lot of things happened. It doesn't matter. But part of the process and part of the problem was always we, the people, were not in the frame of mind that was required for the positive shift to actually come about. No, and nobody's to blame. We didn't know. You had to fight the processing, the training, the conditioning, the experience, the education of your past, your parents' past, or grandparents' past, or great-grandparents' past.
Mm-hmm.
So the awakening moment came. Whether anybody recognized it or not is actually a moot point for right now. But the awakening came to enough people at the right time that everything was able to move forward, with the understanding that once it takes that very last step across the starting line, which is what it was, a step out of the old into the new, that it could never, ever go back, because people won't shift from the new consciousness to the old consciousness anymore.
Right.
That was the difference.
Yeah, once the change takes place, you can't move
now,
back.
Why am I on here? I can't remember now.
Because it was getting so good to your ears, you had to come forth. That's why.
I knew you was coming on.
You did?
Hey,
I didn't even know.
I knew you was coming on, and I tell people all the time, you got currency, don't you? Yeah.
Me?
Where is it? No. I'm just saying. This is what I would say. I would say people because they would be like, when is this going to happen? All stressed out, right? So I say, you got currency, don't you? They're like, yeah. I says, where is it? It's in my safe. Okay, so you know it's there, and you bought it for some reason because you believe it's going to revalue, right? They're like, yeah. I says, okay, so continue to do what you're doing. So when it's time, you have your currency there. You don't have to sit there and watch this thing 24/7. When it's time, you'll know.
Yeah, but see, everybody on this call understands, and we've even heard from people that go from call to 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 call. Remember when they had calls that made there were umpteen calls every night, every night for years.
Drove me nuts.
You could go from one call to the next. You could be on the phone all night long or on a call all night long listening, for Okie or somebody else to, step in and say, oh, hey, this is the latest, this is the latest, this is the latest. Well, you know what? None of that latest meant anything because you weren't ready for it.
That's right. That's right.
Your focus was on what? The wrong thing. No, I'm not berating anybody. I'm not saying anybody failed at anything, but this is part of the awakening process. How can you utilize the riches of the universe, the riches of your Creator, the abundance of the Creator, if you have the wrong mindset?
Okay.
Well, you can, but you would act foolishly.
That's right.
Now, a lot of people think, well, yeah, I would have wasted a lot. Okay, no, that's okay. It's okay because there's enough that it doesn't matter whether you wasted anything or not. The point was, how long were you going to allow yourself to knowingly waste the abundance on stuff that didn't matter? See, but now the things that people want to fund and spend money on are things that matter because it's not personal to them anymore. No, I'm not saying people shouldn't spend and take care of themselves and their families, but people finally got to the point where they said, there's a whole planet of people that are hurting, in distress, in need. And enough people finally got to that one single thought where they recognized the needs of the other people and their intention to assist in alleviating the needs and the wants of those people, that the whole universe made a tremendous shift. And now it can't go back.
Thank God.
That's
go
true.
back to sleep.
So, like I said, pat yourselves on the back. You finally got there. I don't know where it was you were trying to get to, but you finally got there. It's time to celebrate. You're there. You're just waiting. You're just waiting for them to put up the websites where you can go, sign in and make your appointment. That's all you're waiting for. Everything else is done. Even the TDA stuff is done.
Now, how is express this new process? Are these bank websites or exchange centers? What is it? Where you go and set up your appointment? No more telephone calls. What has changed?
No. Again, they haven't really decided. It's going to be a three-phase system. I still think it's going to be a three-phase system. People have already been contacted by email. Go check this website. They give them a link. Go check this website. Sign in. Make your appointment. I don't know whether they actually do it from the website or not because this is confidential stuff, on a person-by-person basis. But, you're going to get an email, you're going to get a phone call, or somebody's going to give you a link to a website where you go in. It's like a referral system. And it's shortly going to become everybody's turn. So, whatever way they decide to do it is whatever way they think the communication system's going to be able to handle. Not everybody checks their email. Not everybody answers the phone. Not everybody has a computer. So they got to go, different ways to reach everybody. But everything's done.
Okay, then let's go home, go back.
And you send the details. Just wait. I mean, tomorrow's a key day, really, because the body speaks at the UN.
Mm-hmm.
There's that dangling string again, dangling string. I've always said Iraq is just dangling at the end of a string, waiting for somebody to pull them up and tell them they can go.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted to hear it, but it was the truth. They were the one that got to be the Judas goat, I guess. But anyway.
Okay. All right then. Well, that was a really good article.
No, actually, that's old stuff. That was written Sunday.
It was rearranged stuff too.
Yeah, well, it's as quickly as things have moved here in the last few days. You probably just could have skipped the article. It wouldn't have made any difference to anybody because, everything changes.
Then you wouldn't have come in.
That's probably true. I would have stayed here and enjoyed my cold beer, which I still can do. But
that's what I need, a cold beer.
Well, what's stopping you?
I don't feel like going nowhere.
Oh, well, all I have to do is step over to the refrigerator.
I was in and out of consciousness this morning, and the message was, it's done, it's done, it's done, over and over and over. So I'm like, okay, it's done.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was true. But see, you should have asked the question, what do you mean it's done?
Well, I seen like a little round table where people were signing off on stuff. So.
Oh, there's tons of that been going on.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it. I mean, the Senate's still working on, a little USN approval thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, all that gobbledygook that's got to go with it. But, yeah, it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But, see, the key thing to what you heard is you're done. Everybody else is done. There's no need for any of this anymore. There's no need for any more intel. There's no need for any more, divisiveness in the community. There's no need for any of that because it's done. And everybody's going to find that out really, really soon. And they can just let it all go and go back to doing whatever they did before Dinar Chronicles started posting everything from every Tom, Dick, and Harry that thought they had a lucid comment, which most of them weren't. But so everybody can, just chill, relax. Now it's the term. What's the term? The proof is in the pudding. Well, they're getting ready to put the proof out. So.
Okay then. Well.
Okay then. I like that.
Yeah, I'm going to let you answer a few questions, Bishop.
Oh, really? Do I have to?
Yes.
You're mean.
231. And the reason why is because the queue was empty, and now there's a few people there, so I figured they're there for you.
No, they're probably there for Smarty, or they're waiting for Tank or Ginger or whoever.
They've been waiting for you for like a month.
2, 3, 1.
Hello, good evening. I want to thank Fisher. Dr. W.C., for his lecture on reaching critical mass with positivity. And that's exactly, I think, what happened. We tipped the scale. Thank you so much for telling us that tonight.
Oh, I see, but that's what Sheldon Idle was trying to tell you. It was just put in terminology that nobody really understood. I just put it in my own words, just like I do everything else.
Well, you're a fascinating man.
No, actually, I'm more of a pain in the ass to you people than anything else.
Well, you have been sometimes, but then you redeem yourself with stuff like this.
Well, isn't this a redemption?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I that's heavy for me, And I also want to know, what damage did you sustain in your home and your homes, Dr. W.C.?
Oh, none at home. Praise God.
Lost a fence.
And the
Lost a fence?
Lost the fence at the center. Mm-hmm. So we nailed that back up, but it'll get repaired eventually. And
but that was all?
Half of the tree, that's it. Yes. I have hollows in every window, and they've lost the fence. That's it. So
and a gate. You need to replace a gate.
Yeah, the gate. Yeah, didn't lose any people. Praise God. No flooding. So.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about the critical mass that we've just reached, and it's kind of a shame that it took 4 hurricanes and a couple of devastating earthquakes for us to get it.
Well, not only
we get it.
but others throughout the earth, needed to.
Well, that's what I mean. Look at the devastation. That's what I mean. That is exactly what I mean. It is too bad that that's what it took, but that's what it took.
But
because we see
again, don't take this wrong. Don't take this wrong. Do not take this wrong. Everybody played a part. Everybody had an agreed to part in this theater. Mm-hmm. Don't feel sorry for anybody. I mean, you can empathize, but don't sympathize. There is a big difference between the two. Sympathy is when you start telling your troubles to a friend, and then they start telling you their troubles, and pretty soon you're crying on each other's shoulder and nothing gets done. That's sympathy. Mm-hmm. Empathy is understanding where it comes from, maybe why it comes from, the source that it's coming from, but you don't get involved in it on a personal level. There is a huge difference. People started empathizing and not sympathizing, which created a whole new paradigm for the consciousness. It was really that simple.
And yet, it's that
people
heavy.
People have been told over and over and over and over, this is exactly what needed to be done.
To reach critical mass.
Yeah.
In being positive.
In the right way.
Yep.
See, but everybody was, I'm not saying everybody, but enough of a number of, everybody's got out of that personal time frame, that personal frame of reference, and started empathizing with the rest of the world who was suffering from these catastrophic events.
Exactly.
There's still people that sympathize with them, but their numbers are small compared to the number that are empathizing now and waiting, now to be able to actually take steps to help alleviate the problems and to solve the problems forever.
Right. Exactly. Can't wait.
Well, of course you can. You waited this long.
Mm-hmm. I know. And I've only been in this about 18 months, so I'm a newbie compared to those that have come before me.
It feels like 2,000 years for me.
But it's you're on time. You're on time.
I'm on time. Thank you. Thank you. That it feels like I belong to this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really exclusive club. It's called Humanity.
Yeah.
And understanding what humanity really means when you come at it from the point of, the thought processes of the Creator. He didn't create humanity on a whim, which is one reason you got the Saint Germain affirmation that everybody should use, because that will give you back your entire set of DNA strands so that you are able to participate on an actual co-creative level with that Christ consciousness or the mind of God and the intent of God, because you will do no wrong once you have your full DNA set back.
Does everyone on Earth get their DNA set back? Or do just certain people? Do we all get it?
Everybody.
All of humanity, everybody gets it?
It's out there. They either choose to use it or they don't. People use things. People are given tools all the time. They decide when they pick up the tools and use the tools, right?
That's true.
That's like telling
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them think.
Exactly. I'm not here to tell people what to believe. I'm just telling you what is out there that is an option for you. I might tell you what I believe, but that's it's still up to you. People make up their own minds about everything. That's why people have opinions. Now, how many opinions do you think there are on the planet at any one given moment?
Good point. Quite a few.
Now, do those opinions come from people who are awake, you think, predominantly?
I would have to think that through, but I'm not sure that predominantly they're awake. No.
They're questioning now. See, I don't know how many people were familiar with that program. What the heck was it? The scientist Walter. What the heck was the name of that program? I thought Walter was great. Walter said, question everything, right?
Yeah.
And that's true. That's what people should do. But the first thing they should start questioning is their own beliefs. Test your beliefs against other people's beliefs. And if you find that you have a difference in your philosophy or your belief, then ask the other person, what do you base your beliefs on? Where is your faith coming from? Where is your opinion coming from? See, it's simple conversation for a lot of people, but in some cases that conversation is very uncomfortable for some people because they're stuck in a belief that has not worked for them and never will. But they don't. Before you can change, you have to have something that is a positive change for you to move into. But you have to see it as a positive change before you'll make that step. It's not a forward step. It's not a backward step. It's a step to the side. You step to the side because the point you were at before, if you'd have stepped forward, you'd have moved into your own wall, the wall of an unfirm faith or a disbelief or a lack of or whatever. But if you take a step to the left, you take a step to the right, you've just moved around that obstacle. So now get comfortable with the free space that you are moving into, because now your obstacles are gone.
And it's a totally different paradigm for all of us.
Absolutely. And that's what was needed.
Critical mass. We did it. We arrived.
Finally.
Thank God.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's who you should thank.
Thank you, God. Oh, I do it a lot.
Because it took.
I have so much to be thankful for.
You people were a lot of work. Now, when I say you people, I include myself in there as well. So, don't think I'm excluding myself.
Well, yeah, you're a pistol, You are. But like I said, then you come up with these gems that maybe I'm just in the mood for it or something, but maybe a lot of other people feel the same way that I do. And, would like to thank you for bringing that whole thing. And you said it was Saint Germain, right? Who brought it up again.
Yeah, because it couldn't be released until we had gone beyond the point of critical mass.
Right.
No, see, I think if everybody reads it and understands that what it does is it returns the state of perfect creation at a God level to the human angel that you are, they won't have a problem understanding that you could not be given that opportunity to move into that state of perfection until somebody was pretty certain that you weren't going to screw it up. Because you wouldn't screw it up for God. You would screw it up for yourself. And what happens when people screw things up for themselves? What do? They start belittling themselves. They get down on themselves. They think they're a nobody, a nothing. They're never going to achieve. They're never going to get positive results. They're never going to have relationships. They're never going to have money. All that negative stuff. So it couldn't be given out until there was a point reached in the collective consciousness that it would become overlapping the entire planet. And now people can move into that and work at their own pace at becoming that perfect human creation of the Creator and share in the co-creative abilities that God gave everybody. Did I lose you on that?
Glorious time. What a glorious time to be here. You said that we knew what we were going to do before we came, and
you finally did it.
Probably most of us chose to come to the parents that would give us the foundation. Most of us probably have a foundation, not only in Christ, but in service. That's what I think. Because when I hear the people that are on the call, it's so heartwarming to me that I get emotional, because it's so heartwarming to hear the other people on the call and how gracious they are in their giving and their loving. Humanity touches my heart.
But they were the few. See, that's, again, we have to understand that. Now, not everybody that's ever been on this call is in a place where they're even going to use the Saint Germain affirmation because they're not ready for it. They're afraid of it. And they will stay afraid of it until it's their time to be positive about themselves and their place in humanity. But we can't fault them for that either. But enough people are ready so that when those people need somebody to back them up, there are people in place that can assist. That's what this call is all about. That's what some of the other calls are about. That's the position Tank finally arrived at. And look how long it took him before he had a complete understanding of what it was all about. Smarty got it years ago. But he had lots of help. Not that Tank wasn't ready for it. He was not focused on his personal part in it. Tank is one of the most empathetic people I have ever talked to or met. And yet he was pushing and pushing and pushing and pulling and ranting and raving and chasing and running. All he needed to do was just stop.
He is a passionate man. He is passionate.
That's true. But
with passion, you get fire. And you get fire. When you get fire, you get burned. Hey.
Well, that's true. But see, sometimes when you're on fire, somebody needs to pee on you.
There you go, Fisher, being Fisher. Jeez. All this wisdom, and then you say something like that.
But it's true. See, you're taking it out of context. How do you dampen the passion so the person can think rationally? People that are on fire don't think rationally.
No.
So somebody's got to put the fire out.
You have to be taught in grade school to stop, drop, and roll. That's the truth.
They also taught us to what? Duck under the desk.
Oh, that was, what was that? Oh. What?
See, you can't, they taught us all kinds of things that were useless. One of the things you were taught in school.
If your pants are on fire, stop, drop, and roll is not
What if you're wearing a skirt?
It'll put the skirt out.
Okay. But how many people actually could think rationally to what they were taught? Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll.
Well, if your pants are on fire, that's what you need to do.
But that's what you were taught. But how many people, if they're actually on fire and being burned and being hurt and are in pain and in a state of panic, can actually remember that?
None. They're going to take off running.
Well, that's where you need somebody to come along and put the fire out.
It don't have to be fish, though. They can use water.
Okay. Whatever.
Ice cubes would be better at a time like that.
Okay.
Well, I yield. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye for now.
Bye.
512.
Hello, all. This is Russell in Texas.
Russell in Texas.
I was hoping you came in.
Well, I want to ask Fisher to comment here about some of this stuff about the Zim and the it being a bond, and it has to be humanitarian projects has to be done in Zimbabwe.
No, that's not true. It is a bond, and you can use it for funding humanitarian processes anywhere on the planet.
Well, that's what I
don't know where that idea that it had to be given to a Zimbabwe charity came from, but it's total nonsense.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to verify that. Because, I mean, that, we want to help these hurricane people, and we want to, do all this and stuff, and then all of a sudden our hands are tied. That kind of...
No. I don't know. Whoever put that out, I don't know where they got that from, or if they just made that up, but it's not true. It's never been true. It never will. It never would have been true.
Mm-hmm. So, and then, it said that, even though the 80-20, we have to keep 95% of the money in HSBC.
No, you don't.
So, I plan on staying with HSBC anyway, but, why are all of a sudden they messing with our 20%?
They're not.
Yeah.
Somebody put that out there for whatever reason. They had their own agenda for putting it out there, but until you get to the exchange and you go through the various stations, and you go through like 7 stations when you get in there, they're going to explain all this to you. They're just going to walk you through this.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to get it right in my mind, because I've donated to all kinds of people, and I don't want to end up giving them false information for when they, what to expect and stuff. So. No,
tell them to disregard anything that does not sound, even remotely plausible.
Right.
You've got 25 million people in the U.S. that are going to do exchanges, and a small percentage of that are people with Zim. But the dollar figures are humongous. And why does Zimbabwe, with the natural resources they have available to them, and they're being helped in reclaiming all those resources by the Chinese and the Russians, what are they going to need all that money for their charities?
That's exactly what I...
Question? They have no use for it.
I thought that didn't make sense, but...
No, it didn't.
So,
no.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to ask. Didn't think of anything else.
It's just somebody's junk opinion, or they put it out there, whatever their agenda was. But no, it was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I appreciate it, Dr. W.C. You should have put the Hallows on the fence.
I know. I didn't want him to get wet.
You should have stapled them to the fence.
That would have been a good idea. You have to think about it, but it's okay. I was going to replace it anyway.
Yeah.
Upgrade it.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Russ.
Bye, Russ.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. 216.
Hey, Dr. W.C., this is Rock in Cleveland.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing okay.
Good.
How you doing, Fisher?
Okay.
I know you're a sci-fi buff, and the way Fisher just broke that down reminds me of a movie. I can't think of the name of it only because I'm trying to tell you right now. But Bruce Willis was in it, and that lady from Resident Evil, the star lady, was in it. Yeah, Fifth Element. Yeah, and pretty much the stones represent the RV, where everybody was trying to get the stones and killing everybody for them, this, that, and the third. And then you had that perfect being, which was that lady I just said. And when it came to the end of the movie, it was a demon that was on his way to planet Earth to destroy it. And she was the only person that could save it. And she pretty much said, well, why should I save it? All I see is y'all killing, destroying everything, and I don't see any love. So you haven't really shown me a reason why I should save y'all. And that pretty much... that's what I got from how Fisher just broke down the thing that you just read.
You know what? I love that movie, and I can't remember the name of it to save my ass right now, or excuse me, save my butt.
Element.
Yeah, the Fifth Element.
Yeah. No, it does. The analogy does fit, actually.
And Fisher, you had necessary toughness. Only somebody will appreciate that to have more than one child. You have one child, you can tell something not to go in the street, and they won't go in the street. And you have another child, you can tell that same thing, and they can't wait for you to leave so they can go on the street, and then you got to, kick their butt. You know what I'm saying? So that's your necessary
run over.
Yeah, one did right, one did the other. And to your fire analogy, I don't know if you remember when Mike Tyson was fighting, but he had a saying. He said, everybody try to plan on how they're going to fight me until I hit them.
Yeah. And after that,
everybody has a plan until I hit them.
All that planning goes out the window, right?
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, it kind of go with getting caught on fire. Yeah, you can practice, until you put actually in the situation, you don't know what you're going to do. You know?
Don't take off running.
Yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? Putting more oxygen to the fire, burning yourself up faster. You know what I'm saying? But, but yeah, that's all I wanted. Thank y'all.
All right, thanks for bringing that in, because it does fit. Some people need to go back and watch that movie. It was a great movie.
Yeah, because I know y'all are always saying that, the stuff that we watch actually happens in our life some way, form, or fashion. And when you was explaining the RV and people staying too close to it and just grabbing at it, the fifth element came to my mind. I'm like, wow, it's a whole different context, but it's the same thing. You just, the stones is the RV and the other people are playing different parts, but it's still the same thing. The earth is about to be destroyed. And until they gave her a reason to show love, she was going to destroy it because she didn't see no reason why. Y'all don't care about it. Why should I care about it?
But see, the planet here cares. That was something that most people didn't take into consideration. That the planet has a way of cleansing itself.
Yeah.
Should it become necessary.
Get rid of all of us and still be here.
Yep.
All right, sir. Thank you. All right, Dr. W.C.
Okay. Thanks for bringing that in.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now I have to go find that movie. I have it on a DVD someplace.
Okay. 250.
Oh, hello, Dr. W.C. and Fisher.
Hey.
Hi, Roz.
Hi. Thank you for coming in, Fisher. It was really appreciated. Could you tell me any updates you might have on the light chambers? Anything?
Oh, you'll stand by News at 11. Now that we're finally finishing up this process, we're probably looking at again. I have to extend it out a little bit. Say 3 weeks to a month, most likely. But it could happen sooner than that. I know the Galactics are in still kind of a rush to introduce the new technologies, that being one of the first they want to introduce, because right now, let's face facts, there are a whole lot of people that could use a light chamber.
Mm-hmm. And can you tell me what the procedure would be? Like, do you go to some building or do you go to some place?
When they bring down the critical care units, and I'm just going to call them that, critical care units for people that are in dire straits and need them, and whether you fit in that bill or not, they will come to you, or they will be made an announcement on a public scale. And when they arrive, they're going to be totally visible. There's not going to be any doubt about it. That's what they're here for. They've brought the technology, and if you need the help, and especially if you're a critical care situation, by all means, show up. Here we are. We'll fix it. Whatever it is, we'll fix it.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. 225.
Hey, Boo and Fisher. It's Johnny B.
Hey.
How y'all doing?
Doing good.
That clown that put that out was Ray Lynn on that other stuff, and it's showing up on a lot of websites.
Be nice. Be nice, Johnny. Be nice.
Huh?
Be nice.
I ain't cutting him down. But yeah, I was only 20%.
Are you on a wait? Excuse me. We're in a
wait a minute.
Speakerphone?
Wait a second. I'll fix it. Okay, you there?
Oh, that's much better. Thank you. Because I picked that up right away.
Yeah, well, I was trying to shave, and I had my earphone on so I could listen to y'all. But
you don't want to listen to me.
Why not? You full of shit like me. Ain't you saying that?
Well, that's true. Well, why would anybody want to listen to me?
Well, I say the same thing. Rosalind tells me that all the time. So, but it's just life. But with the light chambers and all, they're not going to go at a process where it's the ones that need it the worst first, are they? You know, that hadn't been, like, say somebody was told they have cancer, and they hadn't done they have a priority list. People that are in critical health situations, you know, and if that's, you know, a life-threatening situation or a painful situation, you know, to a certain extent, yes, those are going to be the people they want to treat the first. The elderly, the infirm. Those are the people they want to treat the first. And why not? They're the ones that need it the most. Yeah.
And when you stop and think about it, it makes sense, because those people also agreed to be here, right?
Yes.
And they agreed to go through a certain amount of turmoil and, you know, pain and suffering and so on and so forth. Well, why not alleviate their pain first?
Understand that.
Because they're part of the reason we came to the point where we could become empathetic humanity rather than, you know, sympathetic, you know, whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they played their part, and now it's time to, you know, let them join the rest of the crowd and be in joy.
Okay. Now, from what I understand, on our 20%, it's going to be broke up in 25 years. That ain't no big deal. But on the Zim, as far as humanitarian projects, now all that money, are they going to give, when we set up a trust, say for the hurricane victims, are they going to take the Zim itself, the money we got in there, or are they going to take the interest we got in there? Because, I mean, the interest is going to be great.
No, they're not going to take the interest. No, they're not going to take the interest.
What they're going to do with it?
You're going to get the interest on a quarterly basis.
Off the humanitarian project money?
Yeah. Now, whatever you leave in the bank, you're going to get interest on.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not what I've been reading, so that's why I was wondering.
I don't know what you've been reading, but you know, what I look at it this way: if you put you buy U.S. Treasuries or you buy any sovereign bonds, or you put money into a savings account, don't you expect to accrue some interest on it?
Yes, sir.
Well, why shouldn't they pay you interest if they're using your money?
Well, because I thought, and another friend of mine that got me in there, so we were talking the other day. And they said, like, the 80%, they can do it in the hell they want. Sure, we can, you know, say who we want it to go to as far as humanitarian work. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know. And his understanding was that they got it all. The interest, they got everything.
No, they're going to pay you interest on it. This has changed. There have been several different processes that they've looked at over a period of the last few years, and at one point in time, you were just going to lose that 80% or 95% or 75% or whatever number they decided on at the end. But that's all changed now. It's still your money. It's not going to be under your direct control per se. But it's still going to be your money as a result of your exchange on your currency or bonds, in the case of the Zim. And yes, you're going to get interest on it, and you're going to be able to negotiate interest, and you're going to be able to negotiate when you get paid that interest and where that interest goes.
Okay. All right. That clarifies a lot. I appreciate it. And I want to thank y'all both. And, you know, I'll see WC at her little ball she's got. I don't know if you're going to show up or not. I hope so.
No.
No?
No.
Why? You ain't gonna get in that Porsche?
No, I don't do those types of things, and I'm not even going to bother to explain why. But it doesn't matter.
I was just making fun because somebody said they were going to use you as a hood ornament on their Porsche.
No. I already have a hood ornament for my Porsche. He knows who he is.
Okay, I know it. All right, I sure thank you very much, both of y'all.
You're welcome.
All right, good night.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's call them.
Hi, Dr. W.C. It's Jubilee. Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you, Jubilee?
Well, I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
No. Wrong approach. Wrong approach. Wrong approach.
I'm walking. It's not my health.
You're perfect. You're perfect.
Right.
Just don't
it's the people
it
around me. Okay. Well, it's not my health, but it's the people around me. But anyway, I wanted to thank.
Excellent energy field.
Repeat that.
Great frequency. You're walking in an excellent energy field and great frequency.
Okay. Got it. Okay, I wanted to thank you for the article, and I wanted to thank Fisher for coming in, and I wanted to say that it was so on point because I had come up with a project a couple years back where I was going to do it was called After Eden, and it was going to be more like a greenhouse type environment where you give food to the community. And when the storm came here, I was like, okay, I need to think bigger. So that's exactly what I did. So I changed it to the After Eden Foundation, and I came up with my mission statement and an overview, and I wanted to do more, as far as rebuilding the community and infrastructure and stuff like that. And so I went to go to get the EIN, and the system kicked me out, so I was fighting with that yesterday, and so I got that. And then when I went to do the assumed name, the DBA, my son was taking me, and three different times we almost got hit by a car, different cars, just trying to get there. And then after that, a storm, we got caught in this horrific rainstorm. And so I said, you know what, I must be going the right direction. I said, I must be doing the right thing because it just seemed like everything was getting in the way. But I did want to thank you for that because it just, I did have to think outside of the box, and I had to expand my territory, so to speak. And so it was just right on time. So that's why I felt I had to come in and just say something and just thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome.
Oh, see, people are starting to think the right way. The one thing they need to expand into, though, and really, really, really understand, and they'll make this clear when you go in for the exchange, is if there's something you want done, you're going to have a group of people who are going to be waiting for every word to come out of your mouth so they can act on your wishes. This is not something you have to do personally.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
They will be standing in line to do whatever it is you want because they know how. They can find the professionals. They can find the right people, the thinkers, the doers, the Imagineers is one of my favorite terms, who can come up with the concepts.
Yeah, that's good to know because I didn't know how much I would have to put on paper to actually say, okay.
No, you will wind up with, if not one, maybe even several personal assistants who will practically read your mind.
Wow.
This is what I want to do. And that's all you have to say. And then give them a little bit of a layout and let them flesh it out. And you say, let me know when you've got it started so I can see that this is in line with what I was thinking. Let them do it. Let them do it. You're paying them to do it. Now I'm getting
really excited. Now I'm getting really excited because,
you're going to have so many professionals at your beck and call that you're going to think you're a queen. And you might as well act like it now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start right now. All right. Well, thank you so much. I won't keep you, but I'll see you guys on the other side.
I'm not a keeper.
You're not a keeper?
Nah.
Okay, you guys take care.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. 760.
Hello there.
Hi.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me okay, honey?
For sure, yes.
You calling me, honey?
Oh, you betcha. Fisher, I love you.
Oh, my God. That's it.
I just wanted to thank you, Fisher, for coming on. I hadn't heard you for a long time, and you are one of the wisest people that comes on any of the calls. I've been in this whole situation since '98, long before the currencies came into being in 2003. And I've seen a lot, heard a lot. I think I know a lot. And there's very few people out there in conference call land that know what's going on and what it's all about. And Fisher, you're one in a million, dear one. God bless you, and thanks for spending time with us and helping us. And I wish you well.
I love spending time with you people, but I don't come on unless I've got something I need to say.
Well, I'm glad you came on and had something to say because we're hungry for you. And I wish you well, my dear. God bless you.
Thank you. I need every bit of that I can get because if I'm busy, that means I'm causing somebody some problems.
I love it. I love your little innuendos too. I love your remarks and your humor. You have a way of helping people remember what you're saying, and I appreciate that. And WC, thanks for having him on, honey. Thanks for these calls. I so appreciate you.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming in.
You betcha. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye for now. Okay. Not too many questions.
Well, there aren't that many people on the call.
Questions? Yes, it is. Well, it's 512 right now.
Oh, went up by 100 and something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else have anything before we go?
You didn't get any sleep last night, did you?
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, you got 410.
Hi, Dr. WC. Hi, Fisher. This is Julia in Baltimore.
Hi.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, Fisher. Really, really appreciate it. The St. Germain 24 strand is awesome, by the way. I got finished with the first 12. I guess my first chunk done. It's amazing. It took me a week, though, because the energy was so incredible, after I did each one.
Oh, yeah. People have to be careful with that because what you want to do is you want to monitor your results after you start using it.
Yes.
That's why my suggestion is if you're not a practiced meditator or practiced at doing a proper prayer, use this thing carefully because you will get results that you don't anticipate, and they come very, very quickly. And you can set yourself back on your heels rather quickly too if you try to overachieve. This is a timed process, and you have to decide when it's time to move up.
Yes.
Move on.
Agreed.
But you will see results very, very quickly.
And I have definitely opened up and expanded. And I'll tell you, I've been waiting for, to be funded to be able to help others. And to tell you the truth, just recently I've realized that I can help others now.
Yeah,
and it's really,
that's been the point all along.
I know, I feel really ashamed about it that I finally woke up to that, well, even just a little bit, monitor, I can't afford it, no way. But yeah, you can. You can make it work. You really can.
Yeah, who can't afford a kind word or a warm welcome?
Well, I'm talking about monetary.
Around for so long.
I'm talking about monetarily. and that kind of like kickstart me into applying.
Again, your voice is a tool. Your emotions are a tool.
Absolutely.
Do they cost you anything?
Absolutely not. I've been working the hurricanes, from my home.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been helping. Hopefully,
listen to what Ginger does. Listen to how Ginger talks. Listen to how Ginger expresses herself when she's talking about helping other people. She doesn't have the funding for it either.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have the resources as of yet, not completely.
Right.
And yet, she can lift people up simply by talking about what she sees, what she senses, and what she feels, and what she thinks. WC does it every night.
Our thoughts are energy.
But see, again, that's part of being a positive force in this thing we call humanity.
Right.
It doesn't require money. That's just a different tool. Use your heart. Use your emotion. Use your spirituality like Tank does. Use your voice like Tank does, like WC does. No, I'm the harsh one in the crowd. I'm not eloquent. I don't like using the big words. Not that I don't know them. I don't like using them. I want to put it down at a grassroots level so everybody understands where I'm coming from and how I feel about things. And then you decide what you want to do based on what you hear me say, I think, feel, or know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ask you to agree with me because I don't care whether you agree with me or not.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to change because you want to change. And every other caller, same thing. You change when you are ready to change because you feel that's what's needed for you to be the humanitarian that you so vocally protest that you want to be.
Right.
And yet, every time most people said they want to be the humanitarian, it's like, when the funding comes, when the funding comes, when the funding comes.
Right.
No, that's just being. That's like a mechanic. I can't work without my tools. Really? Did you forget you have tools?
Right.
God gave you tools. He didn't give you money.
Right. Good point. Good point. Yes.
Now he's giving you the money to go with the tools that you finally figured out how to use.
Right.
Wow. Are we in a new paradigm or what?
And I would love, to help, educate into this new paradigm. And I'll tell you, I think people are starting to get the hang of it. I really do. I mean, the normal people out there that are not awake yet, I should say. I shouldn't say normal people. The people aren't awake yet, but they're starting to awaken. I really think
they are.
That.
But see, again, normal. I don't know. Can anybody define what normal is in this day and time?
No. I just wanted to label.
But I don't like labels. I don't like labels.
You're right. I don't either, and I don't know why I said that. But
you're normal. I'm normal. Really?
You're right.
You stop and think about that. Am I normal?
Really?
Normal. You think so?
What is normal?
What is normal? If you think I'm normal, there's something terribly wrong. And anybody that thinks they're normal in this day and time better really stop and examine what they think about themselves. And that's what needed to happen, is people stopping and examining where they were coming from when it came to how they fit and how they act and react with the bulk of humanity on the planet. Not just the block, not just the city, not just the county, but their brethren and sisters on the planet. Because you're all connected to the same source. Now, how much closer can you be?
That's
your
correct.
Blood. They're all blood. And if you're not going to help your own blood, who the hell are you going to help?
That's correct.
But people needed to they needed to have an opportunity, or in this case, they were forced to sit back and re-examine their own thought processes when it came to that connection to the other people, blood on the planet. Now, it took a lot of catastrophes, right, to get people to that point. And maybe it was overdone, maybe it was overblown, but it was necessary. So nobody's going to apologize for it. No recriminations. It was needed and achieved its purpose.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yes, thank you.
So welcome to the neighborhood.
Welcome to the globe. To Oneness. Yes. No. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Okay. I'm looking forward to the other side, you might say.
Oh, you're on the other side already.
Okay.
It just hasn't, the firmament hasn't firmed up to the point where you can actually visualize the entire firmament yet. Let's just leave it at that.
Yes. Yes.
But you play a big part in what that firmament is going to look like when you're done putting it together to suit your concept of reality. It may look entirely different to anybody else.
I like that.
That's the way it should be.
I like that. Very much. I like that. All these nuggets tonight. Thank you.
I don't even know what I just said.
Well, I do.
I couldn't repeat it if I had
to. Thank you.
I don't know where this stuff comes from, but apparently you people need to hear it for whatever reason.
That's great. Well, I'll take it. Okay. Thank you again so much. Thanks for receiving my call, and thank you so much, Dr. WC, for everything you do. I love you both.
Love you too. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Okay. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, make sure you all go to the website and click on that link right beside the home that says Direct Change. If you're going to adopt 10-plus families, and fill out that little form so that I could go ahead and get you guys information concerning that. Okay? For these disaster areas, we can get them back on their feet quickly. Hong Kong.
Hello. Hey, this is Hong Kong. I want to thank everybody for everything.
It's been a while. How are you?
It's been some time. Thank you. I've been great. Been listening to you. I like Fisher in the background.
Good.
Hey, I have a question for Fisher, or anybody, but is there, Fisher, do you know if there's technology to put a damper on all this natural disasters that's happening?
Yes, there is.
Is there?
And that will come in the near future.
Oh. Okay, great. I've been looking.
If this is supposed to be God's paradise or Eden, you don't think He'd let us have all this crappy weather, do you?
Well, I don't think, but it's happening. So, I look at all this devastation, and there's got to be a way to stop them waves from coming in and just, oh, wow. I mean, most of us have no idea about the amount of people have died over the years in these hurricanes and tsunamis and, this stuff. So, wow, that's great. I've been trying to figure out, I'm a nobody, but there's got to be somebody that knows how to do this, and then with money you can create things.
No,
so
the people
anyway,
people already know. The people are out there, as in galactics, that know how to do all this. But you still have to make allowances for certain weather anomalies. It's just a part of natural cycle.
Yeah, if it's natural.
It doesn't have to be cataclysmic or catastrophic.
Yeah. Well, fantastic to hear that. And thank you so much for popping in tonight. Been waiting for you. So.
Oh, well, you're probably the reason I'm on.
Yeah. Appreciate all of you, all of the listeners and everybody. That's great. So thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good to hear you.
Bye now.
Bye for now. 763.
Hi, Dr. WC.
Hi.
How you doing, Fisher?
Okay.
I just want to say I really appreciate you so much. Just you being you, from one man to another. It doesn't matter how, I guess, old we get to be. Sometimes we need to be sharpened by another man. So I just want to let you know I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
You don't need to thank me. It's the only reason I come on here is because WC lets me come on here and blather.
And Dr. WC, I know now you're talking about adoptions after the completion of the RV. Am I correct?
Yes. What I would like for you guys to do, we're setting up a program that's going to go in and assist people in recovery, being totally recovered. But I would like for people to tap into the idea to adopt 10-plus families, and so we can quickly get people back on their feet back into their communities and make everything so much greater than what it was.
Oh, and I'm wholeheartedly for that, and I'm not on here just to, make myself shine in any kind of way. But I would like to take, if this is after RV, I would like to take on adopt 100,000. And I'll go on your site, and if that's okay, I'll take the first 100,000. And that means completely whatever they need, houses, clothes, furniture, whatever their need, I'll take that responsibility.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take it, because a lot of people walk into those shelters with not even a toothbrush. And, there's so much going on right now that people are still without. Totally. Even with everything that has been donated. So, but what we want to do is we want to go and hit the ground running, make a huge difference. And we have plans. The group that I'm working with, we put together a plan that's just absolutely awesome. And we are almost done with it, so we can go ahead and start executing as soon as everything. So this is just another component, the adopt the family courses. So that way, there's a lot of people that want to participate, but they just don't know how. So one, give them the opportunity to step in and, help.
And if it's necessary, I don't even have to wait. I can send the currency, so it doesn't have to wait on me. It'll just be there. Because when I was buying currency, I'm kind of like, God, I got enough. And he was like, well, get some more. And now I see it's not for me. It's for other people. And he's just allowed me to be in that position. I know I got a brother that's down in Houston, and he had to leave out of his house. And so and he stayed with a friend. And I told him, I said, is there anything that you need? He said, no, I'm all good and everything. I say, well, what I'll do is that I'll send you some currency for the guy that you are staying with, just to let him know I appreciate him allowing for you to stay there with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm sincerely mean this from my heart. I want to take care of the first 100,000.
Well, see, that's one reason why we have not come on the call and announced exactly what we're doing, because we want people to be led by the heart, you know, and not by, you know, the ego or I want, you know, the show part of it. We want people that want to come in from the heart and say, this is what, you know, I want to help. What can I do to help? You know, but, and we've got that clean together. But in the meantime, you know, there are so many that still want to participate, but they think that they need the money to do so. So we want to give them the opportunity to take part in by, you know, tapping into families, you know, and rebuilding families.
So what I should probably do is just send you an email or figure out how I can get an address, and I'll just send the current.
I got your number. I got your number. I'll give you a call sometime tomorrow.
Okay.
And then you may even just want to, based on your schedule, there may be something that you can contribute far as administrative-wise. That's what we're working on right now, getting all of that together, so that, you know, there's areas that we need assistance in.
Okay, that's not a problem. Well, we'll talk tomorrow, and we'll see where this goes.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
All right, then. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
843.
I have a question for Fisher. Fisher, I see where HSBC has brought Chase Bank into the Zim exchanging. In addition to Zim, I have Dinar and Dong, and I have accounts for at Bank of America, and I would like to exchange my Dinar and Dong at Bank of America after I exchange my Zim at HSBC. Will I be able to get the sovereign rate at for the Dinar and Dong at Bank of America?
More than likely, yes. And Chase finagled their own way in. They're only getting 5% of the entire action. So it's not a huge part, but they're actually replacing Wells Fargo.
Will they, with regard to HSBC, will they try and coerce me into exchanging my Dinar and Dong at their bank?
They will, yeah. If you're interested in exchanging with them, yes, yeah, they're more than willing.
But I have accounts.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you have accounts, existing accounts. It's going to be a matter of personal preference. What's most expeditious and easiest for you. Right. Well, they're not interested in making it easy for themselves. They don't care. They're going to get all the action in the end anyway, because that's where all the currency is going to wind up, is with HSBC.
Yeah. Well, it's convenient for me because we have a Bank of America here. We don't have Chase and we don't have HSBC, so I can.
But
transfer.
HSBC will have contractual arrangements with other banks to act as their agent.
Yeah. Right. I can move Zim proceeds over to Bank of America.
Well, okay. Do you have Zim? Is that what you do? Have Zim?
Yes.
Okay. When you call in or sign into the website or whatever it is to make your appointment, and you say that you have the Zimbabwe bond, they are going to immediately take care of you and provide you with a location that is convenient for you, and it may be some place that is not even a banking location.
Yeah. Okay.
It's already set up.
Great. This is a great call tonight, and I just wish people would get with it, and keep their vibrations high.
They are. They're working on it. Yeah. And the more people that get the St. Germain affirmation and start working with that, the better it's going to get, and faster and faster and faster, and everybody, heals in the process and becomes, an active, positive participant in humanity's growth. And that's what everybody wants. At least I hope they do.
Oh, one other question. the Zim, do you know the exact way it's going to be handled from the viewpoint? I've heard different ways, and the initial way was that you go in and exchange, and 80% or more would be for our own humanitarian projects, and a very small amount would be for personal use. Now, someone's putting something out there that 80% is going to go to the charities in Zimbabwe.
We dealt with that with a previous caller. No, that was incorrect information. You can use the humanitarian funding, the 80%, anywhere you want to on the planet.
Great. Okay, that sounds so crazy.
Yeah, well, it was, and that's why I don't know why people even thought it was true, because it made no sense.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense. Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate your very good advice.
No problem.
Yep. And thank you, Dr. W.C.
You are so welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
Okay, bye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye for now. 908.
Hi, Dr. W.C. This is Scotty.
It's Scotty in New Jersey.
Hi.
Dr. W.C., how are you today?
Doing great. How are you, Scotty?
All right, great. God bless you. I have a quick question for Fisher. I wanted to get what he thinks about this. Today, I went into New York with a bunch of friends that had currency, too. And we cashed in all our, just scrap gold and, just because we had nothing to do today. So we went in and because we all keep hearing different stories. I just want to see what his opinion is. When we go gold back, our currency, you think, Fisher, that gold will go down or up because the market would be flooded with gold? So what do you think about that?
I think that gold is going to go down simply because there is so much of it available already, not just the collateral accounts, but the Saint Germain account. There is so much gold out there that's available right now that the value has to go down. It cannot go up. It just cannot go up.
Yeah, I told my friends it's like if you flood the market with bananas, the price of bananas will go down. So we had nothing to do today, so we just got rid of all our scrap gold today. And some people listened to me, some people didn't. But I just wanted to see what your opinion was on it. I think it's going down, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's the general consensus, even amongst the big investment firms and the hedge funds and so on and so forth. Right now, because there are so many countries that haven't declared that they have a gold-backed currency or have not yet chosen to announce that they're going to have a gold-backed currency, that you still have question mark on what's gold actually going to be worth. Well, when it comes right down to it, the Chinese are going to set the value for the gold. It's their turn at the wheel, so to speak, and they're not going to do what the English did or the Germans did or we have done or anybody else. They're going to let the real value come out based on the availability.
Okay. Just another quick question. Since silver, what do you think about silver? Because that's not you don't back silver with currency.
Well, silver is going to fluctuate up and down simply because it has commercial uses. The same with tungsten or copper or any of the rare earth minerals. If there's a demand and there's a short supply, then you're going to see the market more or less dictate the price.
Like solar panels, for example.
Yeah, exactly. See, now gold has applications in electronics, and other various devices, but at the same time, there's so much gold that's been released into the world that it's not in a short supply, not like tungsten or lithium or things along that line. So again, supply is going to dictate the prices on those precious metals and minerals that are used in the commercial marketplace that are actually in short supply. Gold, you might as well take out of that basket because it's no longer in there.
But I think I made a good decision today. But I didn't get rid of any of my silver, just all my, anything that had sentimental value I kept, But other than that, I got rid of everything.
Well, as a short-term investment, I would say silver, tungsten, copper, those are things you want to look at if you're going to invest in metals. But remember, when the new technologies come online, most of that stuff is going to be obsolete.
Yeah, most people don't talk about this. That's why I kind of wanted to throw that out on the call tonight. But hey, I'm really glad you came on. I haven't heard from you in a while, or heard you talk. So.
Well, I've been sitting here talking to myself for months.
Yeah, me too.
Do you answer?
Sometimes.
Did you ever ask yourself what you just said?
Well, it depends on the answer.
Oh, you're in bad shape.
No, I'm just joking. No, it's all good. All right. Well, there's other callers that want to really talk to you. I just wanted to throw that out, and that's what I did today. So I wanted to see if I was on the right.
No, it's a good question. It's a good question because we heard for so long that gold was going to go up to some exorbitant price level, and it's like, well, wait a minute. Do people understand how much gold is in the Saint Germain Trust? I mean, do you even have an idea of how much gold is available on the planet? No, they didn't know.
Yeah, metric tons.
Yeah, I mean, huge quantities, and they are in metric tons. And when we're able, and that's I say able, and that's going to be another short-term advantage that we're going to have available to us as a planetary commerce, is we're going to be able to do mining in space.
Wow.
Now, do you think you're going to be able to find tungsten and lithium and gold and silver and, some of these other precious metals and gems and so on and so forth, in asteroids or in the asteroid belt or on other planets? Hell yeah.
Yeah? Wow. Is it true that you I've heard they've been hiding and storing diamonds just to keep the market price up? What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, it's been a captive market by De Beers for a long, long time. It's not that diamonds are in short supply; they never have been.
They just don't release them, right?
They just don't want to release them because if they release them in vast quantities that they have available to them, and that's from various countries around the world, there goes your market. It's just like dirt. What value does that dirt have?
All right. Well, there's a lot of other callers, man. It's great to hear your voice.
Well, I know WC wants to go to bed, though, so you guys got to cut her some slack and hang up.
Yeah, no doubt. Me too. I got a busy day tomorrow. All right. Well, I'll listen to the end. God bless. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Scotty. Have a good night.
Peace.
Okay. Thank you, Scotty. Good night.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I got about 4 texts. For those, all of them are basically asking for the same thing. So if you go to the website, realtruthuniverse.com, and if you click on Direct Change, it's right beside the home page, you will see the information concerning, it's just kind of go down a little bit, you'll see the information concerning. Okay, let me mute you, Scotty. Okay, so you'll see the information where you can sign up for Adopt a Family, right there. Don't overdo yourself because we're going to set up a page that kind of and see, it's like a sponsorship type thing. So you will be able to sponsor that family from 0 to, and I think it's going to be an awesome thing. So just complete that little form and submit it, and then in about a week, we'll have a special call just for you and give you all the information and guidelines that we need, because we want everything to be done in a decent and orderly fashion. We don't want to just go and toss money out, but we'll give you the details at that point. Okay? All right. Thank you. All right, then, 719.
Yes, good evening, Dr. WC. It's good to hear your voice. I'm glad to hear that you are fine and that you are well.
Say it again, please.
I said it's good to hear your voice and to know that you are well and that you are fine and that you are carrying on. And it's wonderful to hear Fisher tonight. And Fisher, I love you, and I just so appreciate you coming in and sharing your heart with us, and your words this evening about to the other caller about how much help there will be. Can you hear me okay, Dr. W.C.?
No.
Oh, goodness.
You can't hear WC?
No, maybe it's my phone. It may not be yours, because you're going in and out on my phone.
Oh, that's your phone.
It must be me. Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna log back here.
Okay. I was just saying, Fisher, you just lifted my heart so beautifully when you shared with this lady that she's going to have, and we are going to have, all of the help that we need with our ideas, and that there will be these beings that are here that can basically read our minds and our hearts, and they're just waiting for our word to share with them what it is, and then they will be able to help us put these things together that we've been concerned, will we know what to do. I think not only me, but for so many people, it has put us so much at ease to hear your words of comfort in that area. And I wanted to share something, and I think I heard the pastor that has come in and spoken with you at times in on the call earlier, and I have put off coming in and sharing this, and I just felt prompted that I should try to get in tonight and bring this information. That was a thought that came to me. I did send it to you in an email, and it was before the storm, and I know you're busy, and I didn't need you to get back to me, but I wanted to bring it in and share it with our family from a scriptural point of view in the Bible, in the scripture that talks about death shall be swallowed up in victory. And for anyone who might have an interest, it's from Isaiah chapter 25. And over the last, 15 years or so, when I read this scripture, it came to me that if I replace that word death with debt, because of what we've learned about that the word mortgage has to do with debt, and it has to do with the death, and it's a debt. Death is debt. Death, D-E-B-T, is death, D-E-A-T-H, by slavery. And so when you read this chapter 25 of Isaiah, it's a praise and thanks and exaltation of our Creator for a period of time in the future that has been spoken of as though it's already a completed work in the past. And for those who are reading this, what happened to me was that I felt that my eyes were open to have an understanding that this is a prophecy. And I've never heard anyone teach about this, but I believe that it is appropriate for this time that we're in right now. In verse 6 of Isaiah 25, the scripture talks about a people, and that God is going to do great things for these people. And it's a people that are at the end of the age. And in verse 7, he says that he's going to destroy something for these people that is, he calls, a covering that has been cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all the nations. And that made me think of the internet or this matrix that we've been locked down in. And it's at that point, right after that, that he says he will swallow up death in victory. Or if you read it with new eyes, you can look at it as he will swallow up death by debt in victory. The Lord will wipe away tears from off all faces. The rebuke, which is this covering, this net that has caused people to be poor and needy and distressed, this is where we're at right now in, all these things that are going on in the world. And it says that he's going to take this covering that's been cast over all the people, this veil that has been spread over all the nations, to cause us to, it was like a rebuke to us, a wake-up call. And he says he's going to take that terrible pain and sorrow and suffering and wipe away all tears. He will take this rebuke of his people away from off all the earth, for the Lord has spoken it. And he goes on to say in verse 9, and in that day we will say, this is our God, we have waited for him, and he will save us. This is the Lord, we have waited for him, and we will be glad and rejoice in his salvation. And for people that want to go on and read further from there to the end of the chapter in verse 12, it talks about this thing that was this rebuke that was like a high wall or fortress that has been put up to hem us in, so to speak. He says that he's going to bring it down. He's going to lay it low and bring it down even to the dust. And so I wanted to share that with people as an encouragement that I do believe that this is the time that we are in. We are that people. People that are familiar with what in Joel is called the day of the Lord, if they go and read in chapter 2 of Joel, it will tell you that the day of the Lord is a people, great and strong. And he talks about that in this chapter, Isaiah 25. And when you compare Scripture with Scripture and you connect the dots, so to speak, he says that this is this mountain, the mountain of the Lord. And these are the people that he's going to do this. When you're studying and you look up the word, I'm trying to think of it. When you look up the word in, like for instance in Hebrew, it actually has a multiple connotation that it means in and in, or by, or from, or with, or through. And so this people that are at the end, God calls you a great and strong people if you are here at this time. And this is the thing that he's going to do in and by and for and from and through and with and because of you. Because you are this great company of people that he is doing this through and with. And
can I shorten that?
Yes.
God is using you people as agents for his changes.
Yes, that's it.
All you had to do was step back and say, okay, I'm ready.
And when I listen to you, Fisher, I feel so in tune with you, and this is what it evokes in me. It's like a inspiration that I know that every person that's out there that's listening, they have ideas, and I just want to encourage them that what Fisher said is true. It's not about us individually having to have all of the answers and knowing exactly what to do just because somebody else knows what their plan or their business plan or their mission statement is yet. I can't say that I have all of that together yet, but I'm waiting, I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm resting, I'm meditating, and I know that in the moment that it's needed, whatever is needed, it is going to appear because we are paying attention. And we've been believing that we were going to have this help, and we are bringing it into manifestation. And it will be perfect. It will be in perfection because it will be just what we need when we need it. And I just thank you so much for sharing from your heart. Thank you for everything that you do, Dr. W.C., and from the old days when we used to be on the beginning calls for learning about these currencies, and you and I have known each other over the years, just to see the way that you've blossomed and how God is using you and how you've moved forward with all the people. It's just so incredibly beautiful to see and watch this whole thing unfold of what has happened with you and how Fisher and Smarty and Yosef and Ginger and all these people that have come alongside of you, and we are right there alongside of you also, all the silent voices that are sitting here in the background and listening and learning and appreciating. I just want to say thank you to all of you. And God bless.
Thank the Lord, and thank you.
Love you, love you, love you.
Thank you so much for being here. God bless you.
It's been wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for keeping that line open for one more person to speak to you and Fisher.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay.
You bet.
That's beautiful. Thank you for your contribution.
That's a good place to end the call.
Well, you got one more caller.
Well, who is it? Maybe I'll tell him no.
Next caller.
Hey, Dr. W.C., how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
This is Rob. Hello, Fisher. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I got a question. Can I find the St. Germain Trust on YouTube or Google?
The St. Germain Trust?
Affirmation.
Oh, no, you can find it on WC's webpage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She posted it this evening, from what my understanding is.
Yes. Just click on updates.
Okay. Question for you also. In reference to the light chambers, you call it.
Uh-huh.
So, in essence, with that, right, I hear you guys talk about it can reset the illnesses and stuff like that. Does it deal with blindness?
Mm-hmm.
It deals with anything that's wrong with you. I mean, literally anything. What the light chambers are intended to do it's a mechanism, all right? What it does is it reads your original DNA,
mm-hmm.
and it resets the entire physiology so that DNA is perfect, just the way you came out of the wrapper, so to speak.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, that does not mean that you are going to wind up with the 24 strands, because that's the upgrade that you have to work on yourself. But, when you came out of the box, so to speak,
right.
The light chamber is going to reset your physiology, your DNA, to whatever it was at that point in time. Now, you can change things that you want to change. You want to be taller, shorter, wider, thinner, eye color, hair color, whatever. You can talk to whoever you're working with that's operating the light chamber and make those physiological changes at that point in time.
Do you know if this thing going to be a machine or an organism, a living organism, sometimes?
It's almost a living organism.
Okay. That's my question.
Let me see. I actually had some research this weekend and went over a video concerning that. And this gentleman talked about how he was in one of the space programs, and his limbs were deleted, were blown off or shot or whatever, doing his travel, space travel and all that so many times, and how he was put back together through this light chamber. Actually, it's a light chamber. That's not what he called it, but everything he said expressed. That's exactly what it is, and I am excited because they've had that technology for so long, but it wasn't available to us. But now it will be available to assist people in regrowing limbs, resetting their minds as far as Alzheimer's and those mind disease, removing the diseases completely. I mean, just bringing people back to their original DNA, as Bishop said, what they were created to be. Without any interruptions with disease or pain or wars and whatever. Just totally perfect human being. It's going to be awesome.
Wow. So question, right, for those people that's outside the currency world like we're involved in, right, will it be like an announcement to the rest of the world and inform them about this light chamber?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, money doesn't have anything to do with it. This is a gift. Yeah. This is a gift from God through the galactics.
And no one will be left behind. Don't worry.
No, nobody. I mean, it's again, they have a list of priorities on people that they think deserve to be the first recipients of the technology. But before at some point in time, this is fully expected. People will have a light chamber in their house, and you'll know how to use it.
Wow.
If you ever watch, I don't know if you watch, I'm a sci-fi buff, but I don't know if you watched SG-1, but when the ghoul, whenever they get even down to death, they put them in this thing called a sarcophagus.
So they bring them back from the dead.
And bring them back. Any kind of injuries that they have, they can go in. Even sometimes the team get in trouble and get shot, and then if they find themselves on one of the ships and they go through one, guess what? They come back out whole. Even the movie Thor, Thor, his father got in one. It was like a gold ring around him, like a gold bell over. In the movie Elysium, I think that's the name of it.
Yes,
there was
Elysium,
one there.
They had a light chamber available there as well.
So they've been introducing it to us, but, people have to stop looking at all this stuff as being just entertainment and recognize disclosures being put upon us to kind of wake people up. So now there's a movie coming out that talks about weather wars, So, things are just to wake people up, more and more.
Yeah. Fisher, have you ever heard anything? I've heard rumors, right, about back in the 60s when President Lyndon Johnson took over. Did he sign any kind of bill about weather wars or weather manipulation? Do you remember?
I won't say he signed anything knowingly. It was one of the executive orders that made the advancement of the technology available because he funded it as a black project.
Gotcha. So do you think this is an anomaly with the hurricanes, or do you think it's being manipulated right now?
Part of it's natural, part of it's manipulation.
Gotcha. Okay, that's it, guys. I appreciate you.
The people that wanted to manipulate it did not get the result that they wanted. So God won in the end.
That's right.
Yeah, because the way that hurricane did, right, when it was on the East Coast, everybody went to the West Coast and did it like it did the 2 steps to the left, like in a football play, right? And then it said, okay, I'm going to come out this gut, right? Now, where are you going to hide now, right? And it proceeded to take its path, And I'm like, it just seemed like it was just so. Now we're hearing about Julio, Jose, whatever, right? Now it's going to dictate where Maria goes or whatever. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, Maria's done a lot of damage already. I mean, it hit Puerto Rico very, very hard. And I don't think there's any power anywhere available, through the utilities. in Puerto Rico. You know. But see, what you have to stop and consider is there was a lot of I want to say old buildings, old facilities, old infrastructure on a lot of these islands, and now it all needs to be rebuilt, replaced, whatever. So it's time to upgrade. It's just we have to get the funding and make the resources available to those people that are going to be doing it, and the chance is coming here very, very shortly for everybody to jump in and do exactly that. Of course. Everything will be just fine. Puerto Rico needed to be rebuilt. A lot of Cuba needed to be rebuilt. A lot of the other smaller islands out there, nobody ever paid any attention to them. No big money went there because they were kind of unique. They were kind of laid back. But they were old and decrepit. The people that lived there were living in poverty.
Absolutely.
And so now it's time for the people that are right-minded, with humanitarian intent, to give these people what the rest of the world, for at least the majority of the rest of the world, or the majority of the people in the U.S., have as an everyday living condition.
Right.
It just takes the tools, putting the tools to use.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys. Peace and blessings.
Thank you so much. Peace and blessings to you as well. Okay, Fisher. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay. Candy girl, you're going to be the last one.
Hi there. One more question. Fisher, maybe you could help refresh my memory. I've asked you stuff about this before, but I need a fresh crack at this. Can you explain to me, walk me through a session at a light chamber? Are you awake? Are you whatever right from beginning to end, if you could.
You're going to have at least one technician who works as a facilitator that will explain what is going to be done, how it's going to be done, ask you if there's anything that you want changed or altered or enhanced or whatever. And it's a matter of programming the device to make the changes or make the alterations or the corrections that either the device or the technician finds when they do your scan, and compare that scan of the existing physiology to what the scan looks like of the original DNA, which is held in the etheric body or in the emotional body or spiritual body, whichever you want to call that, because that's it's your higher self that has the perfect plan, so to speak, or the engineering specifications for your original DNA.
Blueprint.
Yeah, it's a blueprint. It's engineering specifications. So they're just going to scan and compare the existing on this 3D level to what the engineering specifications were originally, and say, okay, we're going to take you back to this. There's nothing wrong. Perfect. Now, if there's anything that you yourself don't like about yourself that you think is not perfect, say you want to be 2 inches taller, or bigger boned, or bluer-eyed, or blacker hair, or whatever it is you want to change, smaller feet, I don't care, whatever it is you want to change. You just tell the technician and they can program it in.
Okay, now are you awake for this session? And how long
you're awake. Yes, you're awake for the session.
And how long in duration is it?
Now that depends on what and how many changes you want to make.
Do they address health conditions prior to changing your shape of your nose or whatever? I mean, do they get right to the root of?
Well, those are cosmetic changes, right?
Right.
What their primary interest is, if you have, say, leukemia or AIDS, or you have a terminal illness of any sort, or you have, whatever it is, the scan is going to show that, and they're going to ask, are you aware of this? Do you know what stage it's in? Blah, blah, blah. It's because they want to know what your feelings and thoughts are. Because that also is part of your DNA structure, is how what do you feel? What do you think? How, are you a positive or a negative person? Or all of this is part of the original blueprint design for you, the human being that you are. Now, there are some things that you may not want to change immediately, and that's what you tell a technician. I like keeping this. I like keeping that. I want to change this. I want to change that. As far as the health conditions go, believe it or not, there are people that are going to want to keep negative health conditions for whatever reason.
Woo. Okay, now, so you actually kind of participate in it.
You are a participant in it because it's you that's being changed. Of course they would want you to be a participant.
Okay. So can you give me like a rough idea? I mean, is it something that happens in one session, or you go back a few times?
Oh, you can. It depends on the changes you want to have made, because some of these things may take a little bit of time. I mean, you're familiar with the concept of a healing crisis?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of that is more emotional than it is physiological. So some people will want to have their condition reduced so that it no longer exists over a period of time, because they just feel that they have to get used to thinking that they're perfect rather than just being perfect, really, right, drop dead on the spot.
Okay, so if you did request to have the changes up front, I mean, would that be a shock to your system to, all of a sudden have many different changes happening right away all at the same time?
No, it's not a shock, because your original DNA is the perfection of the Creator. It does not know of anything that has a negative impact on it. That is all a result of, just living in a 3D reality over a specific period of time. The shock should have come when you started feeling ill.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is illness, what is pain, what is disease? It's God's way of letting your body tell you that, hey, dummy, there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm. And so
the perfect you is part of you now. That's your higher self. Except for you're not aware of it because.
But you're not connected to that, and most people aren't. They don't. Yeah. I mean, even if you're connected to it and aware of it, it will tell you what your perfect beingness is, because it is it. But you don't live in that reality.
That's right.
So it's just like a car, kind of, that over time has just got, like, the brakes or whatever worse, a little bit, till all of a sudden one day it's like they just don't work anymore type thing. Like,
it's kind of what life is, isn't it?
Yeah, really. But when you're having all this done, is there pain involved?
No. There may be some psychological discomfort over certain things that transpire. Look, okay, I'm gonna say this, and don't anybody hold me to this, because this is not the exact process. You ever watch movies where they portray the event we call teleportation, like Beam Me Up, Scotty? Because they were, Dr. McCoy was always saying, I'm not using that thing. I'm not going to let it scatter my molecules all over the universe, right? Mm-hmm. Well, really, that's what happens. It disintegrates the existing 3D structure and reintegrates it using perfect molecular structure down to the subatomic level.
So is it kind of like a house renovation where you take out stuff, but the basic core stays, and then you rebuild from that? Like they kind of get.
Well, yes, but see, it doesn't work on the mind or the consciousness or the memories. Those all stay intact. All it does is work on the material body.
The physical.
The physical.
Okay. Okay, and one last, I don't want to hog the time here, but one last thing. Claustrophobia. Is that an issue? Is this chamber thing? I don't know what it looks like, how big it is. I mean, is there a door that seals just like one of those?
No, it can. There are various models, but let's just say it's a room.
Mm-hmm.
12 by 15 feet with a lot of, electronic gadgets and screens and noises and crystals and stuff that you won't even recognize. There's nothing to be intimidated by.
Okay, like it's not like you're in a tight, confined area like an MRI?
Oh, no. It's not like you're getting in a coffin or anything.
Unless you want to.
No, but like I just have this thing. Like I've tried 3 times to do the MRI thing. I can't do it.
Oh, okay. No, it's not like that at all.
I can't do it.
No,
even though hearing about it.
You're going to be standing on a platform, and there's going to be lights and noises around you. But it's not going to be any, like they're going to put you in a bodysuit or anything. And it's not sensory deprivation or anything like that.
By the time you get ready to step in there, you won't have any fear.
Oh no, because they're going to explain to you. They're going to show you. They're probably going to do a workup, and tell you what everything does, how it works, how it's going to work on you, what your expectations are, what they expect from you, and a couple hours later, you're done.
Couple hours.
Yeah.
Depending on what the repairs you
want. Well, a couple hours from walking the door to walk out.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Don't panic. You'll be fine.
No, there's nothing to panic.
I'm not panicking. I'm thinking that's like an easy deal. I thought it would be like hours and hours and hours and hours.
No.
It depends on what's wrong with your body.
No.
And what you won't feel.
Well, no. It doesn't even matter what's wrong with your body.
If you want to turn into a little old Japanese man, it might take you a couple of days.
Oh, WC. That I don't need. Oh, that's funny. I lost my thought.
Grab it.
Can you ask for your thinking to get improved?
Yes, of course.
I can't remember what I was just going to ask. Oh, yeah. Do you go, okay, so you get all fixed up, and then do you ever have to go back for a tune-up or a follow-up or any of that kind of thing, or is it one-shot deal and you're fine?
Well, that kind of depends on the person, doesn't it? I mean, how do we get to have the dis-eases that we have?
Oh, you mean they could creep up again because of?
No, only if you let it.
Yeah, right.
If you think wrong thoughts, what does that do to your emotional body or your etheric body or your spiritual body?
Yeah, right.
If you eat the wrong foods, you constantly live on a diet of GMO-enhanced substances. What does that do? Okay. Yeah. Now, do you think it can't be wrecked all over again if you do stupid stuff? Of course it can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm really appreciating your walk down the whole experience. Cause have you personally ever seen this go on or been part of it?
Yes.
Really? Have you done it?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay. Sorry, I got a little crazy. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Good night. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the information that went forth tonight. We thank you that everyone is shielded by your holy angels. We decree and declare that we shall continue to walk by faith and stand in the authority that you have designed for us to walk in. We thank you for the raising of the consciousness of the people, and we decree and declare that we are continually, divinely protected in the mighty name of Jesus the Christ, our anointed Savior. We pray and we declare that it is so. Amen. Good night, Fisher. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. God bless you.
Oh, thanks. I need that. Usually I get chewed out instead of blessed, but oh well.
And good night, Smarty. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you.
God bless you more.
Amen.
I might give you a call tomorrow, Smarty.
Yep, do that. We got some work to do.
I know.
Eduardo, wherever you are, we miss you, and here we're back.
Hey, how is our Eduardo? He's still without the power and
no, it's been in and out. He really don't have the not available to get online like he needs to.
It's probably driving the chatters nuts.
So we had to close the chat room last week. I'm not exactly sure if he's able to get in there or not this week, but the other month not.
They'll be all fixed up by Monday anyway.
Properly. Okay, everyone, God bless you all. We love you. Thank you for coming in, and we will see you on the next call. Have
Good night,
a
everybody.
Evening. Good night. Good night, everyone.